Welcome back, everybody, to a much more subdued video compared to the usual type of videos I made. Today, obviously, the Nintendo 2 Direct got dropped for all of us wonderful people to see, and it had a lot of information related to games, the system itself, and it gave me a lot to think about, and I wanted to share those thoughts with you because I'm sure you're having some thoughts too. So I'm going to break it down sort of in order of the information that we got in the video, but I want to start with the system itself. I think a lot of us were expecting some sort of big graphic overhaul, and we kind of get that with this. We saw that there were some options such as the option for 4K, which is awesome. It's mind-boggling. I actually wasn't expecting that. So you have games like Elden Ring getting ported. You have games like Hitman getting ported. You have these games that were really, really graphic heavy. And I really loved the fact that they were able to make a Nintendo console that is capable of 4K, because I think historically Nintendo has always been known to not really have the best graphics, or at least not the clearest graphics. You know, they have the bright big colors and they have the beautiful landscapes with Zelda and everything, but we don't have that sort of clear resolution that PC games or PlayStation games or whatnot have. Before, we were operating on a lower resolution and only 30 FPS. Now we have these games remastered in a full 4K HDR LCD, 60 frames per second, which is great. Some things about the composition of the Switch itself I think is better. So first we have like the Joy-Cons obviously are no longer snap on, snap off. They are magnetic, which I think is a huge improvement. I think a lot of times just it was kind of tedious doing the snap on, snap off. And I know personally myself, my Joy-Cons, because I have an older Switch, as I hold the Switch, sometimes they will slide like that because the locking mechanism doesn't work as well. So I think having the magnetics and then having the buttons on the back is great. Some other things new with the console in terms of composition, we have the C button, which is for game chat. And I certainly have my thoughts on game chat. So game chat is Nintendo's sort of target, I guess, towards a Discord-like application where you have people on a voice call together playing games. And I think in theory it's great. You know, it allows people who maybe don't use Discord as much or maybe don't have as much access to those kinds of applications on a computer or whatnot. You don't need an extra computer. You don't need an extra microphone because they have the microphone built into the Switch now. I don't think it's entirely necessary, and I think probably the addition of it to the Switch is going to cause the price to be a little bit more. It's a cool feature, and I'm sure I will try it out and, you know, give it a whirl, but I don't think I'm going to find myself using the game chat feature when I have things like Discord. I know there's going to be a camera, and for some of the new games, like I know Mario Party Jamboree, it's going to have your face up on the screen. But for me, I feel like that just kind of takes away from the game. So all in all, not terrible, but not something I was really looking for. Now let's talk about, you know, the games and the gameplay. I think the big one out of the gate and sort of the one that they're using to advertise this console is Mario Kart World. One of the things that has sort of been taking the video game world by storm is the idea of open world games, and they're kind of going for that vibe with the Mario Kart World with a map that you can just drive around in, which is really cool. I think that's something we haven't seen before, and it would be really interesting to see how they implement that. I'm not entirely sold on it. The expanded roster is cool. I saw some characters in there, like I saw Pianta in there. I saw the cow from Moo Moo Meadows. What? I don't know what that is about. Again, they don't provide a whole lot of information in the Direct as to how many courses there are, characters, whatnot. All of that information, I'm sure, is soon to come, but it's something that I think to think about in terms of whether or not you want to get the Switch for yourself or get the game. Think about the fact that it's not going to be like Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart Wii, whatever. We've had a formula for a really long time, and now they're switching up the formula. Is it going to be a good change? I guess we'll find out. I am open to change, but again, I'm a little bit hesitant on some of the more gimmicky features because, to be honest, I just want to race. That's what Mario Kart's about, you know? Now, with this new console, you can play 3 different types of games. One, obviously, you have the Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games, so that would be your Mario Kart World, your Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I will get to, the new Kirby game, Kirby Air Riders, and a bunch of other games that they announced during this Direct that are sort of being the flagship games for this new console. That's one type. Second type are games that you love and know from the first Nintendo Switch that are going to be compatible and ported over. So, I mean, the list is very big, but all the games that you know and love. So Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Link's Awakening. I'm sure, I think Super Mario Maker was on that too. So pretty much all of the games that you love to play from the first Switch are going to be used on the Switch 2 as well. Whether it's digital or physical, you'll still be able to play those as the cartridges are still the same. And that is really great. Now, the third type of game that we're going to see is the Nintendo Switch 2 editions. So games like Mario Party Jamboree, Kirby game that I can't remember the name of, sorry, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. These are all games that were loved and very popular on the Switch that people want to play on the Switch 2. And so what they're going to do is they're porting these games over to have sort of like a graphic overhaul. So all these games are going to look better, they're going to run better, and for some of them, like Mario Party Jamboree, they're going to have entirely new content. 4K, 60 FPS is coming to Zelda, which is so great, something that was really needed, because as much as those games are beautiful, 30 FPS is painful. Another cool thing they're adding to Nintendo Switch Online, already we have, you know, the N64, the NES, the SNES, the Game Boy, all of those wonderful consoles have games ported onto the Switch through the Nintendo Switch Online subscription. We're getting another console, the GameCube, which is awesome. Some of those games are already ported to the Switch, but I think it's great that they're adding another console. And for me personally, I cannot wait until they do the Wii, because the Wii, I think, has the best selection of games, so many near and dear to my heart. And that about does it for the big stuff. You know, there were some other small things that I noticed, like we have the now mouse controls where you separate the Joy-Cons and you can move them back and forth. They have that awesome wheelchair basketball game that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, really great for representation, a cool new way to have controls and stuff. Usually when a new console comes out, there's always some new gimmick in terms of motion controls, and Nintendo historically has always caused problems with motion controls, but I have faith that this mouse thing maybe will work out. We don't know. The Joy-Cons themselves look better, so in terms of, you know, when you separate them from the console, I think everyone has been over someone's house and they're playing with the separated Joy-Con and uh-oh, you don't have the black piece that goes on top and you can't press the SR, SL buttons. They made those bigger, which is absolutely something that was needed. Some things I would have liked to have seen is maybe an address to Joy-Con drift and improving Joy-Con drift. I think we've all been there where we've had a Joy-Con that we really like that starts to drift a little bit, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. You can take it apart, you can set it out to someone, but that costs money. You shouldn't have to replace your Joy-Cons as soon as we have. And they didn't really address that. So maybe it's just naturally going to be better on its own, or maybe we're going to get more of the same. I don't know. It's just something that I thought in my head. I was really hoping, hey, Joy-Con drift is a thing of the past. Not really. I also think that they're biding their time with a lot of games. I do think there's probably another Smash game in the works. There's probably another 3D Mario in the works, but they're just trying to give this time to breathe. I was surprised that it's coming out on June 5th with this, you know, announcement being on April 2nd. That's pretty soon. I mean, relatively soon. In the presentation, they didn't say the price of the games or the actual console itself, but we know that information now. The console is going to be $449 US. Without a bundle, with a bundle, I think it's going to be about $499 US, which is a lot. Again, they're advertising a lot of things. They're advertising better graphics, better run speeds, a lot more storage, and the ability to, you know, call people and FaceTime and whatnot. I think that's great, and I think that's the reason why it is so much more expensive. At the same time, I feel personally like I need more information on what's to come and on specific performance things before I want to make that decision. I think that about does it for me. Let me know in the comments if I missed something, if there's something else you want me to talk about, or some thoughts that you have. You know, are you going to get it when it comes out? Are you going to wait a little bit just to see how things do? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts because, again, I'm still kind of mulling this over. I just wanted to get this out there because it was relevant today. But thank you for watching. If you liked, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Hope you guys are doing well. Love you all. Stay safe.